What's up, dude?
Not much. How you doing, man?
Living the dream.
I bet you are. That's awesome.
If I had the opportunity in life to do this every day, I'd kill myself.
That's fucking dark, man.
Sorry. Yeah, so how are you? Can you just tell the world who you are, what you do?
Sure, yeah. Tony of Tone Zone Toys. I am currently at my mom's house, which is on the coast of Lake Hudson in northeast Oklahoma. So I'm in her like weird potting room where she has like stuff she's growing like in boxes and shit. It's pretty
Wow.
cool.
Is she growing anything good?
Oh hell yeah, dude! Yes, everything. The farm is like really taken off. It's a really long story, but it's also really good food. So yeah, it's all fresh, grown right here in Oklahoma. So
I mean, this is all like hydroponic, like food, like.
no, it's like in the dirt, like traditional growing things.
But it's inside?
Well, this is like the storage for the potatoes that I'm kind of sitting in to do this.
I see. I thought you meant she was like growing weed. I was like, oh, your mom's cool.
No, mom is pretty cool, but no, she's not doing that right now.
Not right now. Not just yet.
Not at the moment. Maybe someday.
Yeah, that's a always funny story. Like, because growing up, like I don't smoke weed, but I'm just gonna see if my mom's in the chat before I tell the story. She is not. So it's like you just think like your mom's is kind of straight laced and then doesn't do anything, and then she proceeds to tell like my wife and I about how she ate a brownie at a Santana concert with her friends and it got so messed up that they could barely get a cab home. Like, it was like,
Oh
what?
boy.
It's like, you did what? It's like, you're 70 and you're what? Anyway. Hey,
Yeah,
you only live once. So
yeah.
let's start at the beginning. How did you get into the resin toy scene? What was the first thing that drew you in and kind of inspired you?
I had just gotten on Instagram to try and find toys that I was collecting. So I was collecting Ninja Turtles and Star Wars dudes pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I got kind of tired of the chase. I thought, man, in searching, I found, I don't even remember who made it. It was so long ago, but it was like a rainbow chrome Boba Fett on like a resealable clamshell that was like in Japanese or some crazy shit.
Has no talent, probably.
Probably so, yeah. But when I saw that, I was just like, dude, wait, I could totally make toys. I could just do that. So I kind of just started doing it to fill the void in my collector, my collector brain.
And has that completely solved the problem, or are you still pining for those same toys?
It did not solve the problem. Now I buy digital toys and regular toys. Shit. Yep.
Wow. And so you saw that Has No Talent toy, and then you decided to do it yourself. How did you educate yourself? What was the process there?
Well, I took to the internet to just scour every nook and cranny I could possibly find about how to do different things, learning about materials and hardness and stuff. And I kind of, I guess, owe a lot of that to, fixing air-cooled Volkswagens for so many years. You kind of everything is just what you can find online. So I got really used to putting in a lot of research and thinking before actually doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
That helped a lot with expensive mistakes that you can make when you're fucking up a cast or something. So, yeah.
Let's go back to the Volkswagen. So do you have a day job? What do you do the rest of the time when you're not making toys?
I'm an operations manager at a credit union that serves the medical industry.
Mm-hmm.
So It's I've been there for 10 years, so I'm kind of like a senior dog or whatever, so the boss or whatever. It
Wow.
just pays the bills.
And do you aspire to like make toys full time? Is it a goal like that you could quit this job?
That's a pretty good question. I think the hardest thing about making toys full time, whatever that really means, is how can you consistently come up with something that a large group of people is going to want to buy? It's
Um, I
like,
I will tell you that that's why I can probably count on one hand how many people do this full time. I was just asking if
right,
that was,
yeah.
I was just asking if that was a goal.
No, it never was actually. I've always done different things with art throughout my life, and this kind
Mhm.
of seemed like a good next step, to be honest. It felt like a good direction. I freaking love action figures, so making them is a dream come true, regardless of. I mean, I make every single one for me. Like, this is badass. I'm glad I made this. Okay, maybe somebody will buy it, and if they don't, I will keep it, and it will be very cool still. So.
And so do all the people at work, like, do you have like a desk with like action figures all around it? Or do the people at work like have no idea about like your alter ego?
They know somewhat, yeah, and I have a few things from a few people. One of my favorites of all time is the from a guy named 8-Bit Mike. What's up,
Mhm.
Mike? If you're watching, what's up? Uh, he did Splinter from the Ninja Turtles, like the OG 1988 line, and put it on R2D2 for Splin 2D2 or whatever, and it looks pretty damn good. It looks good on the desk too, so it's
And
nice.
do you think because like you're the boss that people like don't ridicule you?
Right, yeah, there's no room for that. It's a professional environment, man. Respect my toys.
So, so the first toy that I don't remember how we met, but the first toy that we had for you was in New York 2 years ago.
No, it was
Two,
19, I think. Yeah, 'cause it was 2019.
2019 was the Beavis and Butthead R2D2,
Yeah, big time.
and that sold out like almost immediately. And
It's
you
pretty
were
badass.
there. And you came by to like take a photo of it. Like I remember it was a big deal for you, and then I told you that it sold out, and you just about like lost your mind like there.
Yeah, that I really honestly felt like I could just quit. I felt like I had peaked. That was bad. That was badass, dude.
And then your follow up there, and so the it was this one.
Oh yeah, Hank Solo. There he is.
Solo, and it said only Mike can judge me. And
Yeah, I don't
the
know,
funny
man.
thing is that there's someone who came by the booth who said they were Mike Judge's assistant. I remember I told you this, and said that they were buying one for him. And I was like, cool. I wonder what he thinks about this.
Yeah, man, that's wild. He's always
And then
been one of my favorite like people or whatever.
he's a really talented guy in many ways.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have the pizza turtle,
Oh yeah, baby.
and you made an edition of 20 of these here for New York Comic Con. And so, I mean, is like the graphic design part of this? I mean, is that something you were trained in or studied, or you just naturally knew how to put like corrugated cardboard marks on the
I
package?
I have a little bit of a background. I have some technical certification in 3D design and animation, so I kind of am familiar with photo editing and other things like on the computer.
Hmm.
So I kind of, one of my really good friends told me about the open source program GIMP that's like a generic dollar store Photoshop basically. And I just kind of ran with that, learning how to do it, and I can like picture the card back in my mind, and then I just Google image search and warp stuff and make it happen.
That's awesome. I downloaded GIMP recently because so many people send me Photoshop files and I can't see them before I send them to print. I was like,
Oh yeah,
I need to do something. And then I just
yeah.
Googled it and was like, hey, here's GIMP. And then I don't know. Now everything shows up as a GIMP file. I'm like, okay, cool.
Cool.
S- so I don't know, like what's next? Like you said that you kind of like, you're pleased with your first release. Like you're gonna make toys till you're 100 years old.
Probably so. Yes. I mean, I continuously have funny ideas, and then if they're still funny, like when I wake up the next day, then I usually try and go for it. If they're not, I usually ditch them.
And
So,
are you making a lot of one-offs? Like, um, is that how the process starts for you?
no, usually I always have it in mind to do like, okay, what will it take to make 10 of these? Because I don't want to just make one and then somebody is like pissed that they couldn't get a hold of it or whatever. So that usually, kind of winds up. I always wind up having one or two left over for like a year, and then somebody finally
Mhm.
buys them or something. So yeah, usually I aim to make more, but this year with the pandemic and stuff, I decided to do more one-off stuff just to kind of cure the itch while I was preparing for other things. I'm actually working on a comic book from a few of the characters like Red Baron. Couldn't
Mhm.
believe Uppercut Party had one of the OG Red Barons. That was
And
cool.
he saw your name and he just boom had it on the spot and just bam, it was like right there. It was kind of amazing.
It's pretty cool.
So what are you doing on the comic book? Are you drawing this from scratch? You writing it?
Um, Actually, no, I have a couple of really talented fucking friends, man. And I
Yeah.
kind of pitched the idea to them and paid them for their time, and we kind of storyboarded it out. And then one of my friends, Joe, penciled it in, and it looks badass. I've shared some previews from it on my Instagram, but my friend Trey is inking it and coloring it right now, and it is going to be boss. I want it to pay kind of tribute to like the silver age of Marvel Comics. That's really where my heart kind of goes out to comic books.
Mhm.
So we're kind of throwing it old school a little bit with the way it
Very
looks.
cool.
Yeah.
And then uh I know because you sent me stickers that we are expecting more in this line, because one of my
Yeah.
favorite details about these first two figures in this line was how you perfectly replicated the power of the force stickers, hologram stickers,
Well, yeah. Thanks, man. That
which
makes me very happy to hear you say that.
it just kind of like took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. I have a whole wall in my bedroom at home of the Power of the Force figures. I mean, those stickers were like just the coolest thing as a child, and even still. So I had to do it. Had to do it,
I,
man.
I have such a love-hate relationship with those figures.
Yeah, I've seen some stories where you talked about how they don't sell for shit.
They do. You just have to sell them really cheap, but they're
Hmm.
just. I don't understand. I think the reason I get so many of them is because there's so many. At the year that they came out, like I don't think any kids bought them. I think it was just, like completely like adults, and then they got over them and they sold them. And I think a greater percentage of the newer toys that come out today are actually opened by kids and no longer in the package. I
Yeah,
think. I think, or maybe if it's half and half, but before then it was like 100% because no one opened that monkey Princess Leia and the Lando with the bell bottoms and the big, just like all it out, dude. So can
shredded.
you?
Yeah.
I know you've sent me the next two stickers, but can you tell people what the next pieces in the line are going to be?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna do Chew Bobby, so Bobby Hill as Chewbacca, and I actually have a what is it, Low Gray, or one of the Ewoks from the vintage line. I've carved his ears off and carved the face out. It looks like a horror scene, but I'm gonna sculpt a Bobby Hill face on there. Should be
Nice.
cool. And then Princess Ladybird, so it'll be like Princess Leia with Ladybird's face. The old hound dog, Hank Hill's hound dog. Should be pretty tight.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
really
that'll.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Well, hey, dude, I really appreciate the time. Just want to tell everyone who's out there in Zoom land that we have pizza turtles, although we inaccurately called it the Pizza Ninja. And if you look at
Yeah,
him, he's filled with like pepperoni, right?
yeah, and no two are quite alike. I mean, it was actually my first clear figure, and my first time ever casting anything in a pressure pot, first time I ever casted anything inside a figure. I mean, I had to learn so much shit in such a short period of time to pull that off. Pretty happy with it.
Very cool. And the signature hologram, of course.
Of course. Hey, did you a long time ago, you bought a pizza Rancor keeper from me whenever I was just like kind of starting out my store. Do you remember that?
I think
It
I
was
still have it. Yeah.
it's a Chuck E. Cheese head on like the Rancor keeper with the
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause I've been
Mm,
sorting all the figures recently, and so I have all of like the Tone Zone box with all your stuff.
nice, man. That's cool. I
That-
whenever I saw your name in my PayPal that you'd fucking bought something from me, I was like, dude, I cannot believe that Dove just bought something of mine. It was validating, I guess. So thank you. Very
you're
cool.
you're quite welcome. I mean, I've bought something for most everybody, so
Yeah. I
I don't
guess I'm
know.
not special, but you know.
I don't know. It's like uh, it. There's something about people's early work
Yeah.
and having an example of the. I don't know. It's kind of like getting like someone's rookie card, like in baseball cards.
Yeah.
And especially when you see the progression and you see the person change over time, if they've changed styles or their skills have grown, or the jokes have changed, or they've just that's this is like, for me, this is like collecting art, and I'm always looking for Star Wars references, so it was the use of the Rancor keeper that
Of
attracted me
course.
to that. And yeah, that's just kind of part of it. It's like it's watching the growth, and like having that. I always just think that like the curator in my mind just thinks that all this is going to be in a museum one day, and I just always think like, or is it going to be in a book or something, and I just see like the beginning, and then I see what it's become, and then it's going to go someplace else. And that's always kind of what's, even if that never actually happens, at least in my head, that's how I'm collecting it. So
Still very
uh,
cool. Yeah.
yeah. So we've been threatening to do a book. I think it has to happen. um the way it went was, I've been talking to Sucklord about doing a book for 10 years, right? Started
Oh yeah.
cataloging everything, and then the conversation kind of went like this, and I was like, I don't think I really want to do a Sucklord book first. I think I want to do um just a general book about all Star Wars bootlegs first. And then his reaction was, yeah, whatever, I don't have anything to do with it, don't have anything to do with those people.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
god.
okay. So I gave him a little time to cool down, and I was like, all right, so I just want to be clear, you don't want to have your stuff in this book at all? And he's like, well,
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I said, how about if, like, in the opening chapter, right? The opening chapter is about you, right? And it says like a long time ago in like Chinatown, like, New
Yeah.
York, not too long ago, whatever. And then, you just start on the Gay Empire and the Sucklord 66, and the
Oh
first
yeah.
chapter is about him, and then the rest of it just kind of spreads out in all directions. And
That's really cool.
I think he thought that, I think he understood that that book is more accessible, more people, because it's based on Star Wars. You don't have to
Right.
solely be a psychedelic fan, and that positioning him as the godfather of this whole scene was actually better for him. So it seemed to, like,
Yeah.
eventually he came around to it, that it played to his ego, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I could see
so
that.
so when it's not convention season, Ian and I are going through the warehouse, we're finding everything, we're fixing anything that's broken, we're sorting it by artist, we're pulling out things that don't belong, and then that's going to be the basis for making a list, getting everyone's permission, taking photographs, and then doing some interviews and trying to put something out. So,
It's
but
very cool. I would
someone, I don't know who, but one of you guys or gals at some point is going to have to do a how to make, and it's not going to be me. Maybe I could publish it, but someone's got to do a how to make an action figure book and talk about casting, because your story is the same as everyone else's. They all talk about going online, trying to learn how to make this stuff, trying to figure out what's the crap and what's the good stuff.
Yeah.
And we put a lot of figures together here. I have tips about blisters and glue, and the different applications of card backs. And we talk about people who have durable figures and let them do that, and other people glue their stuff down. And you know that's good for the way it looks, but if it comes apart, then it's ruined. And
Yeah.
other people who tie stuff on the back, or other people have resealable. There's all these different ways to go, and there's like these positive and negative kind of you know uh positive and negative aspects to all of it. So
Hmm.
one day someone's gonna have to write that book, but that's not gonna be me.
Sounds like
So
a cool book.
well, I'm just throwing that idea out there
Okay.
for everyone. Yo, Scott, turn your warrior guild blog into a how-to book. Hey, hey, hey.
I
All
would
right,
buy it.
dude. Tony, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you guys.
Have
Appreciate
a
you so much.
have a great night. And everyone still out there in YouTube Zoom land, go buy a pizza turtle.
Nice.
All right. Take care, dude. Have a good one.
Thanks, man. You too.